Hi guys, this is Krively again with another product review, and today we are going to talk about a Pelikan pen, which is the Pelikan M200. And the Pelikan M200 is part of Pelikan's Elegance line. And within that Elegance line, it's from the Classic series. The M200, so to speak, is one of the entry-level pen into Pelikan's fine writing range. Before we have a closer look at the pen, let's have a look at the packaging first. Comes in those simple white cardboard boxes saying Pelikan and having the Pelikan logo on top. Then it says here M205 white fine. That is not true. I have a M200 classic black, but fine is true. I have the fine nib. When we open up the box, out comes a little another cardboard box here. By the way, I got my pen from penworld.rombus.be in Belgium. Stellar customer service from their side. Can recommend to order stuff from them. Very pleasant experience. Pelikan logo here on top as well. You take that thing out and out comes, that thing was attached, that little label was attached to the clip. Says Schwarz, German for black, M200 black fine. Of course, that is now true. And then we have this little sleeve or pouch that is made from fake leather. I don't know if it's really useful as a pen case afterwards. I don't use it like that, but that's where the pen comes in. And then you also have the warranty card. I have the pen since June last year, so I've been using that for quite a while now before doing the review. With the dealer stamp on top for the warranty and all that, and then inside you get some filling instructions and nib width information and all that kind of stuff. That's basically it. So let's now jump into the pen itself. The pen itself, very classic black and gold, is as classy as black and silver. You can never go wrong with a black and gold or black and silver pen. That pen does not come only in black. It also comes in white, for example, white silver, black silver, and a number of different finishes. You can look that up on the Pelikan website or on Penworld's website, wherever. Basically, and we can do a small comparison here to the M400 Brown Tortoise, the last year's Pelikan Special Edition M400 2016. The M400 5 Stresemann just came out as well. Let's do a small comparison to the Souverain series, which is the next higher series. Like the Souverain series is part of the premium line. The Classic here is part of the Elegance line. So the difference between them basically is that the Classic has a 1 gold center band here, the Souverain has 2. Also on the Classic it says Pelikan Germany, and on the Souverain it says Pelikan Souverain Germany. That is one difference. And then also at the back here at the piston turning knob, these are piston filling pens. The M200 is a piston filling fountain pen. Has 1 gold ring here. The Souverain has 2 gold rings, and then also when you uncap them, they uncap with 3/4 of a turn, which makes it a nice quick note taker. You have at the Souverain, you have a gold band here. At the M200 is the M400. At the M200 Classic, you don't have that gold band here. And then also the nibs are slightly different. The M400 has a 2-tone 14K gold nib, and the M200 Classic has a gold-plated steel nib. So that is for the differences between the Souverain and the Classic. So as said, very simple cylindrical shape. At the top of the cap you have this Pelikan, typical finial. A Pelikan with 1 chick is on top. A small step down here, then you have the clip attached here. The clip is this typical Pelikan stylized Pelikan's beacon, the 2 eyes of the Pelikan here. It's a very useful clip on the tight side, but super useful. I like that it flares out like that because that makes it super easy to just stuff the pen into a shirt pocket. Very easy, very usable. As said, 1 center band here saying Pelikan Germany, and then as we move down along this black shiny resin barrel, we have 1 gold band here at the end. some kind of little domed ending here, and then this is the piston turning knob that will operate the piston that is in here. I can show you that on the brown tortoise. You see through the translucent barrel, you see that pen is not inked. You see the piston in here. It's the same system on the M200 here, and if I move the piston turning knob, you now see the piston moving down. You submerge the pen into ink, and then you just suck up ink like that, and this here will basically be the ink capacity that the pen will hold, which is a fairly good amount of ink. The same applies to the M200, of course, but you can't see it because the pen is all black. As said, the pen uncaps with about 3/4 of a twist. This is the cap, has an inner cap also that prevents the nib from drying out, but that inner cap is actually, I can't see if it's integrated into the cap, but I think it's not integrated. I think you could remove it, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Then you have a slightly smaller section here. I've reviewed an M205 before. I've reviewed the M400 that you've just seen before. And this is something that I always point out with that size of the pen, M200, M205, M400, M405. It's a short section and the pen is definitely on the slimmer side. It's on the lower end of what I personally, with slightly larger hands, still consider a usable pen. Not because of the posting or unposting. You can post the pen, post super securely, no chance the cap is gonna fly off, looks nice, makes the pen a nice writing length. Pen does not get top heavy whatsoever because it's a fairly lightweight resin cap, so there's no problem with that. The length is also okay unposted, but as said, I find the pen to be on the slimmer side, so if you have large hands, I'd recommend you to maybe try to test write with the pen somewhere first. I've also pointed that out, or I don't know, was it a review of the M205 or an M400? You can hold the pen up here as well, and those threads here are not particularly sharp, so you can also hold the pen here, or you can hold the pen down here where the section flares out. However, as opposed to the M400, where this step or this edge is very, very smooth, with the M200 Classic here, that is pretty sharp. So I don't know, it might be slightly uncomfortable to hold it down here. I'm okay with holding that pen here, but as said, it's on the slimmer side. I just wanted to point that out for you. And then something that I'm not sure if you can see that here, maybe with a white background, the pen of course also does have an ink window. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Yeah, you probably can't really see it because the ink window is green. If you hold the pen up against the light, you see the ink level, the ink window is about here. You really can't see it because, yeah, it's dark green. You can see it a little bit. It's a little translucent here, but yeah, believe me, it does have an ink window. Then the nib, I got a fine nib, very lovely nib, very pleasant writing experience. Says Pelikan, has a breather hole, of course. The nib slit has the Pelikan logo on top of it. F for fine. Very nice, pretty true to the nib width, fine nib. The nice wide Pelikan feet down here, which I find looks pretty nice. And then you see some sparkles of Kaweco caramel brown on here, which is what I have the pen inked with at the moment. I really like the nib design of those Pelikan nibs, and as said, it's like really, really, really good steel nibs. They write very, very nice. Consistent ink flow, smooth writing experience with the slight amount of feedback that just lets you know that you're writing. It's really a very pleasant pen to write with otherwise, apart from the pen being a little bit slim for me. But well, if you have slightly smaller hands, this would be a perfect pen size for you. Now, before we jump into a writing sample, let me do some quick size comparisons. Probably best to my standard reference pen, which is a Lamy Safari. So you see uncapped, the pen is definitely smaller than a Lamy Safari. Capped, of course, I mean, if we uncap the pens, it's still quite about 0.5 centimeter or so, maybe even 1 centimeter shorter than the Lamy Safari. But then when we cap the pen or post the pen, you will see I'm not going to post a Safari because it's a quite long pen anyway. It gets even longer than a Safari, and let me post it just for you to see. Now the Safari is slightly longer again, but as said, I mean, lengthwise, posted or unposted, the pen no problem for me to write with. That was that with the size comparison. And now towards the end of the review, we will hop into a small writing sample where I can show you how this nib actually writes, and it does write very well. I've already said that. Let me zoom in a little so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So we have Pelikan M200. This is a classic in black with a fine nib. When it comes to wetness, the nib is on the wetter side. It's definitely not a dry writer. Very pleasant writing experience, as I've already said. Line variation, this is no pressure. This is a little bit more pressure. And now we apply considerable amount of pressure. You do definitely get some line variation out of this nib, as you can see here. As with many steel nibs, I wouldn't write with a pen like this all the time, but if you want to add some character to your writing, you can definitely do that. So that was that with that review of the Pelikan M200. I don't know if I've mentioned that in the beginning of the review, but if not, I'll say it now. The pen costs around €100, which is definitely a fair price for what you get. You can even get it for less money if you look around on the internet a little bit and do some price comparisons. But for that price point, it's a very nice pen. Thanks for watching. That was that with the review, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.